How would I deal with imposter syndrome? How do I deal with imposter syndrome? This is such an interesting thing. Imposter syndrome. I think the reason why syndrome exists is because business is a constant evolving challenge. So wherever you are today, it's likely the first time you've addressed that challenge. I feel this in the business anyways. It's like the business isn't new, but I show up and I'm attacking new problems that I've never solved before. And as soon as I find a solution and start to feel confident for like of how we solve that problem, different problems pop up. And so you're literally constantly in a state of I'm doing this for the first time, or the context around what I'm doing feels like I'm not putting in my 100th rep, I'm putting in my first rep with this variation every single day. And so if you think about it from that perspective, it reminds me of like parenting, right? Where it's like every day it's like, well, now I'm raising 3 kids at these ages, and I've never done that before. And tomorrow I'm going to be raising 3 kids at 3 different ages. It's like, and so you're constantly figuring it out in live time. And as soon as you're like, oh, I got it. I know how to be a great parent for a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Like, well, next year you got a 5-year-old and 3-year-old, and maybe a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. It's like, so you're in this state of I am, but that state of being is fluid. And so so that's the feeling. So I think for me, understanding what am I feeling here? I am feeling the sensation of a constant identity in a that has a fluid experience. So I can be confidently who I am. I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, like I'm a leader, I'm a problem solver. But what that looks like every single day looks different. And so like, is that being an imposter? I mean, kind of, but like there is no way to do it and not be an imposter unless you're slotting into like a business, unless you're an employee, unless you're in a role where it's like it's also it has to be like a slow growing business, so well established, slow growing, and it's like you are literally doing the same thing you've done every single year, but you probably don't want that anyways. So the flip side is like you can be very confident that you're doing the same thing you know how to do, but like the consequence of that is it is slow growth. And so I think there's one thing I think for me that's like the mindset around it. I think the other thing about it is I focus on the inputs. I focus on unreasonable, absurd amount of inputs such that it doesn't matter if I'm an imposter. I don't focus on the resolution, right? I think about like for my for my kids, I don't say every day like I'm an incredible father. I come there with the conviction of like I am raising kind and confident or my goal, my drive is that I'm raising kind and confident kids who will want to spend time with me when they no longer have to. So I can set that far goal in mind and focus on the small amount of inputs and be like, you know what? I exhausted my inputs. I'm so focused on that. It actually feels unreasonable that I won't reach that destination. And so that counteracts the feeling of like, am I faking it? You're like, in a sense, I'm faking it because I don't know what I'm doing today. I'm doing for the first time every single time. However, I'm not faking my effort. I'm not faking my inputs. Like those are done and known. And so you can overwhelm that voice in your head that says, you're trying this for the first time. You're solving problems you've never solved before with an unreasonable, absurd amount of effort and inputs. And I think that just like kind of washes it over. And so now it's like, what do I say to myself is like, I'm like, I focus on my inputs and I just put less stock in my outputs, because they're not guaranteed. And I am kind of like figuring it out on a day by day basis. But I'm focused on the things that I can control, which is discernment of what I want to do, and then volume. I love this. There's a little ism here. It's like volume negates luck. Volume negates luck. It's the law of large numbers. Like you put enough volume behind it, you do not need luck. And so in the same way, it's like there are folks in business where their success, I can even feel like this, a variable of success in business is luck. Could be right timing, could be right connections, could be right conversations, could be right partnerships. Like there are so many things you cannot control, but at the end of the day, like volume eliminates the need for luck when you focus on how can I do so much that the result would kind of be unreasonable not to attain. What you just saw was a clip from one of our coaching calls. I do one-on-one calls with people. I also do small group stuff. We do live events. If that's what you're looking for, kind of like a community or specific guidance and assistance, I'm going to put a link down below. Would love to talk with you, see if it's a good fit. Hop on and see how we can help you in that way. Otherwise, I've got actually another clip here that I think you're going to enjoy.